So guys, today's video is going to be the final part of Saitama vs God fight. I know I am late, but still, this fight will conclude in today's video. And at the end of this video, I will express my opinion on how good this manga is. So if you are interested, keep watching. As we saw in the previous video, God had defeated all his opponent and was probably about to leave Earth. But just then, Saitama make his entrance from behind looking very serious. Now if you are wondering how I figure out he was serious, you already know the difference between Saitama's serious face and normal face. And this face is obviously the serious one. After that, Saitama wasted no time and immediately jumped towards God. Upon reaching him, he lands a powerful punch on God's face. Honestly, when I first saw these panels, I got goosebumps. They are just that epic. And these panels are exactly what made me start reading this manga, because I saw one of them in a reel. In it, Saitama punches God so hard that God's body doesn't even have a time to react. His body remains upright, but his face gets smashed into the ground from the force of Saitama's punch. And guess what? The shocking part is that when we see the next panel, it revealed that Saitama didn't even actually punch him. He just exerted some kind of force with his hand, and this was the result for God. After that, Saitama does something even more surprising. He somehow grabs God's head with just one hand and then starts running at an incredible speed. Literally, Saitama runs so fast that in just a few moments, he covers a huge part of the earth. And then, just like a baseball, Saitama throws God far away. And by far away, I mean out of the earth onto another planet. After that, we see God on a deserted planet where it seems there is no life. And the same God we have been watching so long, who has fought so many people, who literally destroyed the mountain. I mean, he had been slicing them in half and didn't even have a single crack on him until now, is suddenly covered in a visible crack all over his body after just a few minutes with Saitama. Honestly, I don't know how this is happening. Is God's body made of some kind of stone that shows crack like these? Perhaps they can't show blood on God's body, which is why they are depicting the damage through cracks to indicate how much Saitama has injured God. Anyway, even God realized that he has taken significant damage. So he began to absorb all the minerals from that planet, and after decomposition and reconstruction, he created some kind of material and covered his entire body with it. We are told that this material is even stronger than graphene. If you don't know about graphene, a while back it created quite a buzz as one of the strongest material in the world. After this, God uses some kind of power, and to be honest, this power was like a Google map, but it worked across the entire universe. It could pinpoint the exact location of any being in the universe. But whose location was God trying to find? Obviously, it's Saitama, who was traveling through space. When God sees this on the map, he realizes that the opponent he is fighting is no ordinary being, because Saitama was literally jumping from Earth to an unknown planet. And as soon as Saitama lands on this planet, a massive explosion occurs, which you can see for yourself. Seeing Saitama in front of him, God immediately says, "Shall we fight seriously, third-dimensional creature?" But Saitama, as usual, ignores his opponent because his attention is drawn to a stone that exactly looks like a space stone with cheetah gull head. Now I don't know if it is the same stone or if such stone already present on this planet, or if this is a cheetah gull's planet. I don't know, but somehow Saitama get his hands on this stone, and when God attacks Saitama prepare his fist with the stone and counter the attack with his killer move, the serious punch. You can see in the panel that the entire planet get obliterated. Right after this, in the next panel, we see a robot. Honestly, I got confused wondering where this robot came from in the middle of the fight. But in the next two panel, it is revealed that the robot was sent by Dr. Kusano. Yes, the old man is still alive, even though almost everyone on Earth is dead. And not just Dr. Kusano, Janos is still alive too. Perhaps because he doesn't count as an organic matter to a great extent. That's why he survived. This is because when God used his power, as I explained in part 2 of my opium video, all the organic matter present on Earth was disintegrated. And then as soon as Dr. Kusano meets Janos says, "Forgive me, doctor, you just upgraded me with a new suit and I'm already broken."
Oh shit. Here we go again.
But Dr. Kusano calm down. Janos says, "Don't worry about it, because as long as your core is intact, this isn't a big issue." And how could it be a big issue when Dr. Kusano's mind was already reeling, trying to figure out what was happening on Earth? Because while underground he detected multiple seismic waves which were obviously caused by a fight with God. But when Dr. Kusano uses GPS satellite to investigate further due to these seismic waves, he discovered that not a single human was left on Earth. He was drenched in sweat, wondering what was happening. However, since he had only taken one reading, he thought it might be a computer error. So Dr. Kusano tried multiple times to verify whether he was mistaken, but no, despite numerous verification, the result came out that all the humans and animals had disappeared from Earth. Janos was unaffected because of his cybernetic nature, and when Janos asked Dr. Kusano how he was unaffected, the doctor replied that he was in a deep underground facility that was shielded against all form of radiation. This means that the attack God used was some kind of radiation which could not penetrate Dr. Kusano's facility. Up to this point, the surprises seems to be manageable, but the manga goes to an even higher level. I mean, Dr. Kusano claims that he might be able to reverse this calamity. Like seriously, this part of the manga felt strange to me. Either all human disappearing should have been the final conclusion, or if they did disappear, how could they all come back? This seemed to be a bizarre concept to me. Anyway, what are your thoughts on this scene of the manga? Let me know in the comments. And one more thing, I have just found out that the manga I am currently covering is Terra Saitama 2, but there is another one called Terra Saitama 3. So let me know in the comments if I should cover that manga too. Coming back to the video, Dr. Kusano said he might be able to use some kind of physics-based logic and a man-made large hadron collider to reverse this calamity. To this, Janos responds, "Doctor, there is no evil you cannot undo." Now I didn't fully understand the exact logic or reason behind why Janos said this, but still one thing is clear. Janos has complete faith in Dr. Kusano that as long as he is alive, everything will turn out fine. The scene resumes with Saitama fighting God, probably right after that intense punch that reduced the entire planet to dust. Saitama with his usual calm expression says, "You can still keep going, don't hold anything back. I wanna go home and take a hot bath." He says this because God isn't just a missing hand anymore. His entire body is left in Tetris. However, God starts regenerating. Honestly, this scene reminded me of Cell from Dragon Ball Z, where he recreates his entire body from a single cell. At this point, God probably realizes that he can't defeat Saitama in terms of physical strength, so he resorts to a different power. Using his ability, he reverts Saitama to his initial form, back to how he looked before his training with a complete hair. As this happens, God explains, "In this fourth-dimensional space and time array, time will continuously revert. Every organism subject to this power has failed to resist it, unless it was reduced to atoms." In other words, if Saitama doesn't do something soon, he will meet the same fate as All for One. But then God realizes something unusual. Although Saitama has been in this space for quite some time, but his age isn't reverting any further. He is reverted to his initial form, but his age is no longer regressing. At this point, Saitama in his usual funny mode says, "Ah, I get it. You are playing Tetris, right?" Referring to the game he used to play with King. Saitama had learned one key strategy in that game, and that is speed. So he takes a sprinting position and charges towards at full speed, tearing through the entire space. In essence, Saitama bypasses space and time itself. During this process, he reverts back to his original form, leaving his previous form behind. The narration reveals that at this moment, Saitama surpasses the speed of light, allowing him to return to his current form. Afterwards, Saitama stops and looks at God with a very serious expression and uses consecutive normal punches. God, who was already heavily damaged, takes the full brunt of these punches and is utterly destroyed. However, even in this state, God maintained his attitude, saying to Saitama, "In the moment your punches slow down by even a microsecond, I will escape to the corner of the universe and recover." This is why he considers himself immortal. But Saitama interrupts him saying, Hey, I said it's over." After that, we see the symbol of death, the same one used against Janos earlier by Saitama. Then we are shown a panel that is truly at a parallel with Yusuke Murata's incredible art style. An art style so powerful it rivals his best creation. Honestly, if a small animation of this entire scene were made, it would be absolutely epic. With that final punch, an enormous explosion occurs, causing the entire space to collapse. And just like that, the fight ends. Now I know what you all are thinking. What happened to Earth? After such a massive explosion, there is no way Earth could have survived, right? You are not alone. Fans in the manga's comment section are asking the same question. What happened to Earth? After all, Saitama was doing all this to save Earth, but it seems like the Earth would have been destroyed anyway. But remember, you are forgetting one crucial person, Dr. Kusano. That man can pull off anything. Well, the video ends here, but I like to know your opinion, so make sure to let me know in the comments. If you enjoy the video, do give it a like and also subscribe to the channel. We will meet again with another amazing video. Until then, goodbye.